Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, in the previous video I have explained to you how on contemplation, how we as creature of this universe is connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how each and every one of us, the me, the we, the us all, in terms of our society, our global civilization, and the universe and other worlds, whether it's a physical universe or the spiritual world, and how we are all connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or God. Because the very basis of spirituality is to acknowledge the creator of all things. Okay, so for the atheists, they see this wonder, this beautiful universe, the stars, the sunset, the trees, the birds, the beasts. They can see all that thing manifested, it existed, but they would not believe in the creator. What do they say? Okay, all these things is just, it came on its own. That means the whole idea that something can come out of nothing is not rational. I mean, if we are talking about, say if you look at a computer, definitely you have a computer, a programmer there to program all the software necessary for the computer to run. If we look at ourselves, we have our DNA and RNA. It is a program that makes us human being. For example, the human DNA and RNA makes us human being. The DNA of a rat, they become rat. The DNA of a zebra become a zebra. The DNA of a cat become a cat. And all this is manifested by the command of the Creator. So in Islam, to believe in the universal Creator, the one and only God who created everything into being, is rational. Alright? But the atheists will say, then who created God? Alright? That is not a rational question, because you can go on, then there must be a God creator and another creator and another creator, and there is no end. And in logic, that is an impossibility. So for us to know that we are a creature that is created, every one of us know that how we existed on this earth. We did not create ourselves. Oh, we came from our parent. Our parent came from our grandparent, and so on and so on and so on, until the first man. How did this first man existed? When Allah manifested His command, kun, be, and it became. So all the kingdom of existence, whether it's the animal kingdom, to the angelic kingdom, and to us, the human kingdom, which is manifested, fused with we have our ruh, our akal, our qalb, and our jasad. This is ourself. So this is the jasad. So these four domains is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because we are a creature of consciousness. We have conscious. We are a creature of contemplation. We can contemplate of our existence, and we can contemplate the grandeur of Allah. So that is our purpose and meaning in life. We are not like the cats. We are not like the beasts. We are a creature with rationality. So as we contemplate about the rational existence, our rational existence, we must contemplate on our purpose and meaning in life vis-a-vis God. So once we understand that God is our Lord, our Creator, then we know He is all merciful, all forgiving, all loving, all caring, all powerful. So everything is manifested in the absolute sense in Allah, in God. So we can then rely on Allah. For an atheist, there's nothing to rely on. You ask them if they are dying or something. Finally, they say, oh my God, please help me. They still use the word, oh my God, but you have no understanding who is their God. But in Islam, it is very fundamental for you to contemplate your nature existence vis-a-vis Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah tells us in the Quran, Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu yukhrijuhum minaz zulumati ilan nur. Allah is your friend, your waliyul, your confidante, who is always helping you, close to you. And Allah brings you out from darkness unto light. So we want to live in light, in the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we understand that, then we know that our life is to manifest the glory, the love, the mercy, the compassion, the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in ourselves, in me, in we, and in all of us. Alright? So it is very important because with this understanding, we can bring Islam in the 21st century as we contemplate that this deen of Islam can solve a lot of the problem of modern human being. The first problem of modern human being when you contemplate is the issue of our existential existence. Why are we on this earth? We are on this earth to manifest the glory of Allah. We are on this earth to be the Caliph of Allah, His servant and Caliph. We are on this earth to make ourselves good, to help others to be good and make the world good. So that is very simple way of us leading a good life. And beyond this physical world, because of the spiritual input, the consciousness that we have come from our roh. Because we are a creature that can see this grandeur. The cats or the cows or the monkeys could not do that. Alright? So because of that, as we reflect over the grandeur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we also got to reflect of our existential question. Me, who am I? Why am I on this earth? What am I supposed to do on this earth? This is beautifully answered in Islam, and that's why we have explained this in detail in our book, Post-Islamic Psychology, a Transcendent Model to Achieve Peace, Happiness and Success in the 21st Century. So for Muslims to lead the world in the 21st century is quite easy. I'll give you 3 levels of contemplation. First, the me level, then the we level, then all of us. Alright? First, the me. We must move away from the current way of life that is being propagated of consumption, consuming. So the me now become a greedy me, greed. So the whole 21st century civilization is geared towards more and more and more. So when that's going to end? That is going to end with the destruction of the world. Because of the greed, we are exploiting this earth. We are cutting down all the trees. We are exploiting all the oil. We are putting more CO2 into the atmosphere. In the end, what happened? We have climatic change. We have drought. We have storms. We have so many of this manifestation of our own hands. That's why Allah tells us in the Quran, it is your own hands that created destruction, because Allah created everything in just balance. Allah has given us the balance of our existence in life to know who we are. Allah give us the balance of the ecology so that we don't upset. Allah give us the balance of our spirituality so that we acknowledge the grandeur of Allah. So when we can do that, we can then move on to the next level. That means this me must always think of we, our family, we. So we must think of our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. What is going to happen to them if we, this greedy 21st century humanity, is going to destroy all the forests, all the resources? What is left for our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren? They will, when we are in our grave, curse at us because we have misused the gift of Allah. Because of our extreme greed, we have destroyed the very good earth that Allah has given us in just balance. So we have to think about we. Not only that we got to think about we got to go to another level in contemplation, all of us. So we have to look at the global society. We have to look at the society. Why this society is becoming so broken down, full of depression, full of mental problems, psychological problems, dissatisfaction with life, phobia, and all kind of spectrum in terms of mood disorder, schizophrenia, all right, and so on, psychopath, all this. Why? So we have to help the society. All of us must work together. So Islam gives us a beautiful way of life and a beautiful solution for humanity in the 21st century. We must go back to the basics of living a good life within the framework of Islam. We must move away from the extreme consumption pattern that we have today and utilize whatever Allah has given us in terms of science and technology and so on. But we must first go back to the basics. The basics is what? Me and we and all of us must work together. So in Islam, we must work. In the 21st century, we Muslims can be the most peaceful, most loving, most caring society because the whole deen of Islam is still intact. Maybe in other religion, they have some idea of the goodness of this world and the goodness of the hereafter. But in Islam, it is very, very clear-cut. So for us to achieve the goodness of the hereafter, we must develop goodness in this world, because Allah tells us in the Quran, biyadikal khair innaka ala kulli shay'in qadir. In His hand is all good. So He wants to manifest that good. He has given us some good. So we must manifest that goodness, so that He has power over all things. We can manifest in some small power that is given us to change ourselves, to change our family, to change our society, to change the global, and inshallah we receive the grace, the mercy, and the help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's not a difficult thing. So the Islamic solution to the world problem of the 21st century is going back to the basics, trying to make this world a more just and balanced world. So what do we want? We want happiness, we want peace, we want justice. So to do that, we must then move away. So within Muslim society, we must away from our own problems of killing each other. We have wars in the Muslim land, all right, because of some differences in terms of you are a Shia or I am a Sunni, and then we keep on fighting. There's no end to it. But we must move away from the concept of aggression to the concept of peace. Then we must develop this peace within the ummah. We must love one another and expand this peace to all humanity, because we are all Bani Adam. So we must love our neighbor, whether they are Muslims or whether they are Christians, whether they are Jews, whether they are Hindus. We must love one another. We must develop this sense of love. And then we must develop one cohesion. Not only that we should live in peace, we should also try to change this aggressive world. Aggression is a major problem in the 21st century. US alone spend $1 trillion a year on their arms. All right? And the whole world spend about $3 trillion on arms. If all this $3 trillion is being spent to save the planet, planting more trees, developing high-tech agriculture, developing a balanced way of water resources, of desalination, and so many things that we can do with that money instead of building war machines, then we can save this planet. It's so easy, but yet it is so difficult. It's so easy to say, yeah, we have $3 trillion that can feed the whole Africa, the whole Asia for many, many years to come. We can supply so much food. But why are we building killing machines? Now we're building killing robots, killing drones. We're building biological weapons. Not to say about atomic weapons. We have these atomic weapons that can blast this Earth out of all existence 17 times. Imagine. The arsenal kept by America, by Russia, by all the other nuclear power is enough to blast out of our existence. Not only us, all life form on Earth. So this is crazy. So we must see this craziness. And this, inverted comma, I use the word stupidity. But we cannot say it to a politician right now, but we must then work together. So Islam and Muslims can be the forerunner of peace, happiness, justice in this world by we ourselves changing ourselves first. Because for things to change, we must change first. We change ourselves, try to develop a sense of peace with all humanity, with all goodly creatures on earth. We must have peace with our bees, because if we don't have peace with our bees, we are cutting out all the trees and all the weeds and all that. In the end, there's no honey for the bee to collect, and there's nothing to pollinate. And when there's so, we have no food, because we're depending on the pollination by the bees. We must be at peace with all the natural environment, and we must, most importantly, be at peace psychologically. So, positive Islamic psychology is a way forward in which we are proposing towards the solution, Islamic solution to the world's problem, by you reflecting what I have to say to you, that we can then, inshallah, move this 21st century towards a sane. Now, because our 21st century is insane. Insane is a psychological phenomena. We are insane because of our greed, insane because of our aggression, insane because of our injustice, insane because of our sense of entitlement, that we can destroy anything and everything. That's insanity. But we can go back to sanity, inshallah, by realizing that we as Muslims must first change ourselves, move away from the aggression of killing one another, move away from the hatred of any other religion or any other human being, regardless of what they are. They are all Bani Adam. They're all servants of Allah, and we must manifest our sense of love, our sense of companionship, our sense of comradeship with all human beings. And together we strive to change the world, to remove all the arms, because the arms of today is the weapon for oppression. So we remove the arms, make this world, the 21st and 22nd century, a beautiful century of peace, of happiness, of love with one another, of freedom to worship and realize the grandeur of Allah. And as Muslims, we manifested our love of Allah through Islam. And for those who are not believers or they are believers of other faith, it is our duty is to tell the truth. And inshallah, when we can manifest this beauty deen, this beautiful way of life, they will be attracted to Islam. And inshallah, they will all come to this truth, and we can all celebrate this beauty of the deen of Islam, rising up to the highest level, horizon of achievement and success for us as Muslims and for all humanity in this world, for the goodness of this world and the hereafter. Always striving to be our Caliph of Allah on this earth, striving to make ourselves good, helping others to be good, making the world good, inshallah.